And they kicked me in the John Wiener.
Welcome, Wrestle Buddies. Give me another gray.
And they kicked me in the John Wiener. What up, homies? It's your boys, Perry Wayne and AJG Papa 3, a.k.a.
He preps.
A.k.a.
He doesn't prep.
A.k.a.
He has a job now that should allow him to prep.
Okay. So full disclosure with that, Adam's mad because I am not doing as much research or prep work as he is. And he's right. I do have a new job that I just started today. And both the people I work with called out. So I was stuck doing my old job. But we'll get to it eventually. Plenty of time.
I mean, we only record once a week. You can jot down notes in your phone. It's cool. But you don't like taking notes in your phone.
No, I don't. I don't even like sending text messages from my phone. That's why you're special to me. I text with you.
Are you trying to butter me up?
Just consider yourself buttered. All right. Well, let's jump right into it. Raw and SmackDown. What's good, homies? Adam to serve.
So the Randy and Cody stuff is boiling. I haven't seen any of the spoilers for SmackDown because it was recorded after Monday Night Raw in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. After Monday Night Raw went off. So I've avoided those. It's boiling. It's definitely boiling between Randy and Cody. We're going to get something's going to happen. It's going to happen in Atlanta. It's Sunday night's main event, Cody's hometown. They're going to go against each other. But in order to prevent them murdering each other, I guess, prior to that, Nick Aldis specifically said, and kind of going an AEW route, where if either one of them touch each other, then they will never be able to compete for the WWE for, I don't know if it's both World Heavyweight Championship and WWE Universal, but I'm assuming it is both, not Universal, Undisputed. They won't be able to go for that title ever again, which is something that Cody Rhodes did in AEW before he left. Hangman Page did it. I think someone else in AEW did it as well, but I like the stipulation. You know, I'm all for foreplay and teasing. Some things though that Randy says Cody doesn't have the gall to be the worst version of himself. You'll always be the good guy. You're the American daydream. And Cody says he's going to kill the legend. And what's interesting is that he quotes Paul Heyman. That's not a prediction. That's a spoiler. And you know, the whole wrestling world is spinning. Is Cody actually going to turn heel? Is he going to be a Paul Heyman guy? I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know if Cody will ever go full heel just because of how much he does outside of the company when it comes to kids and signing autographs and all that kind of stuff. It's interesting though. I'm digging this build up a lot more than the WrestleMania one. The WrestleMania one was good until like a week or two when Pat McAfee got involved.
Right. No, that's exactly what I was going to say. It just seemed like there was so much meat left on the bone coming off the build to WrestleMania, and now they're starting to get to it, and they're running what I would assume is interference with this this heel turn stuff, because they tease at it all the time with Cody. On the Cody Randy of it all, I'm looking forward to this. Like you said, the build has been better than the one to WrestleMania, and this one for me is tough to call.
I don't think it ends here, honestly. I know Cody has movie coming out, I think next month. I think Street Fighter comes out next month, so I'm assuming he's going to go do some promotional stuff with that. It's rumored that he might be in a Marvel movie, so I don't know how big of a role he's going to have. but he might have to take some time away for that. But I don't think this is the last match between these two, especially since they keep, encompassing they the net is being cast really wide on who is involved with this undisputed title scene. We had,
Mm-hmm.
we had Randy confronted CM Punk before his match on Friday night. We had Finn and Gunther confront KO, and then Sammy's still there. We'll talk more about how Sammy's involved with all this. So the net's cast really wide for all the parties involved. Um, I hope this match is brutal, though, and
Well,
I'm
that's my
assuming it will be.
question for you. If there is a punt in this match, who do you think's on the receiving end of the punt?
Well, Cody's already caught one, so I think Cody will be the one delivering one this time, and he may. I wouldn't be surprised if he does something to mock and or call back to Pat McAfee, who is a punter. Just something to like he yells out for the brand before he punts Randy Orton in the head.
Right.
Randy Orton comes and goes as he pleases. Um, Granted, he just came back not too long ago. If you punt him, how long will he be gone? Cody wasn't gone. Cody showed up the very next SmackDown with the big old black. Actually, the very next Monday Night Raw, I think he was there. Actually, after WrestleMania.
Well, that's uh, unless they're talking about it in kayfabe, where they're like, "I'm always here, I'm doing the work, and you're on the Cinderella schedule." I feel like these guys can kind of come and go as they please. Without like Randy, he's you mentioned it. He's one of those like unbooable guys who just isn't going to get booed. So like, even if he does take a punt, he could be back the next night, or he could be back at the Rumble or Survivor Series, and he's there's you know it's a good question, but I don't think he's gonna like get real heat for anything like that, and I don't think the story would suffer, or I would hope it wouldn't.
No, I think I'm just excited. The build's been really good, and it hasn't. That's one thing about SmackDown that I have really enjoyed is that the show. I'm not trying to say this as a dig at Raw,
Hmm.
but it seems like SmackDown. There's a lot going on, and there isn't one central story that is consuming the oxygen of SmackDown. Whereas, and Raw hasn't really been that way either, but the Bloodline stuff has been the majority of what's been going on. Not this past Raw, but I think you get what I'm getting at.
Yeah, the Bloodline stuff is just noticeably heavier on Raw than it outweighs the other storylines, whereas these are all just kind of ebbing and flowing, and yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
So the tag title scene on SmackDown has gotten some tag title scene is getting some juice. Haku, uh, alongside his sons Tala and Tamatanga, the motherfucking Tongans. They're not my family tree anymore. They're motherfucking Tongans. Uh,
I love it.
yeah, I really dig it. Haku. I mean, this picture right here doesn't really do him justice. One, because it's a shitty job by me, but two, he's actually taller than his other son.
Hmm.
I mean, Haku's a humongous human being, but I like that they brought Haku back. And for those that don't know, I'm sure they're going back and looking at matches of Ming Haku, reading up on stories about Haku. I think he like bit somebody's fucking ear or finger off at a bar, but Haku was the one you don't fuck with, like like in the back in the locker room at the bar, just outside. You don't mess with Haku, and I think this is good. I think this little refocusing of or recentering of the tag title scene over there on SmackDown is a good thing. I thought after the match, I thought Damian Priest was about to turn on our truth.
Me too, dude. It was just like God. It was the smell was in the air. I was like, oh, this will be good for him because he hasn't gotten a ton of traction with the stuff that he's been doing. And I was like, here we go.
You
And then he
thought it
did.
would be good for him if he did it?
Yeah.
I don't at all, honestly.
Why?
What's a feud of R-Truth and Damian Priest going to do?
No, no, no. I meant just something to like a heel turn. I didn't necessarily mean like a feud specifically with R-Truth is going to be good for him, but a heel turn probably would be good for him.
It might be. I don't know. But maybe it was a way to separate R-Truth and Damian Priest. Maybe Damian Priest is about to go to Raw, since on Raw we saw a vignette of a call-up from NXT showing the two sides of this new call-up, the glamorous, more fancy side, and then the MMA badassery side, and that is Lola Vice. Had her own little vignette on Raw. So Damian Priest and Lola Vice are a couple. I don't know if this is a way to separate Priest and Truth and get Priest over there on Raw. I wouldn't mind having a heel turn of Damian Priest, him going to Raw, and it would be fun. What I think would be fun is a nice little feud between Chad Gable and Damian Priest for that Intercontinental Championship. I think that would be a lot of fun.
I agree. I'm going to defend myself right quick in a sense. I should do more prep and I should do more research and be more knowledgeable. But that vignette for Lola Vice, it literally took me back to, I don't know, I'm thinking like the Sin Cara vignettes and whatnot, where it's somebody, like I had no idea that was her. You're plugged in enough that you knew exactly what was going on and were connecting dots. But that one literally, while I was watching it, had me curious, and I was like, I wonder who this is. And I was thinking like, they bring in somebody from New Japan? Like, is this some secret signing or something? And I was.
Did you not see Vice City at the end?
Yeah, I mean, I did, but I just didn't. I didn't connect the dots. But it was eerily nostalgic when they would do vignettes for people. You had no idea who the fuck they were. They were just getting a build before they showed up on TV.
I mean, if you avoided the internets, you could be surprised a little bit more. I'm trying to think of when's like the last time I saw vignettes and didn't know who it was, and didn't spoil myself on who it was going to be. I can't really remember.
Like, I don't think Shinsuke or AJ Styles and you would have known AJ Styles anyways, I would bet, but like, I don't think either one of those guys had vignettes. They just showed up at, AJ Styles debuted at the Rumble, and then I would think it was the Raw after Mania, maybe. I don't know.
Shinsuke was in NXT for a bit before he went to the main. But you know what? I'm not gonna. I would say that the last time I was surprised, because I didn't have the best internet and I didn't go onto like dirt sheets or anything like that when I was in high school. I think the last time that I was legitimately surprised and there was a buildup and I didn't know who it was Chris Jericho when he showed up to WWE the first time.
Good call.
Y2J. And when he showed up, there was a lot of people that did know, because, going back and looking at that footage, there's Chris Jericho signs in the crowd. So people did know, but I didn't know. And that was awesome, because we had the countdown to the millennium, Y2J. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was the last time I think I was like legitimately like, holy shit, this guy's here now.
That's a really good call. That was a big one. Good.
Yeah. I mean, that was like to debut with The Rock. That was a big one. That one was awesome.
Yep. Look at that. We took my shortcomings and we took chicken shit and made it into chicken salad. Love you. This fucking guy. I mean, Baron Corbin. Ugh.
So it looks like in order for Trick Williams to earn a United States Championship match, Lil Yachty's going to have to last 5 minutes with Baron Corbin. You know what? Give me your take on this. What do you got?
Um, I want them to figure out a way to make this fun. And I think they will. I think this will be fun. I don't exactly know how. There's going to have to be some just comedic shenanigans on top of shenanigans. Um, I don't really. So if Yachty lasts 5 minutes with Baron Corbin, then Trick gets a shot at Sunday night's main event or just a future shot.
I don't know. I thought it was like if Yachty lasts 5 minutes, then we're getting a match right then and there between Trick and Corbin for that title.
Right. Or if the 5 minute ticker expires and then they just fight to the death, and then at a certain point we get Trick versus Baron Corbin. It's a little hazy. I don't know. I mean, what if Yachty doesn't last 5 minutes? Trick just doesn't get a shot.
Yeah, so I think Yachty's going to last, but he's been training with Ivy Nile. Lil Yachty has, so I mean, everything about Yachty has told me that he takes this seriously. Like number one, he's a fan, and number two, you know, he enjoys it, and number three, I think he's obviously taking it seriously if he's getting in the ring with Ivy Nile. So
Not be surprised if Yachty himself or if Trick like give him like what 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes, and then all of a sudden Baron Corbin winds up with his wrist handcuffed to one of the ropes, so he's stuck running like left to right along the rope, and he just can't get to Yachty.
yeah, there's definitely going to be some kind of schmarminess to it. I don't have a problem with it, and a lot of the IWC community is like, oh, another celebrity getting a shot. Like this is a fucking storyline to build into a championship match. This is a little. I get it. If you don't want to see celebrities in the ring, fine. But Yachty wants to be here, and I'm not like Jelly Roll probably really wanted to be there too. But there's only so much that Jelly Roll can actually do in the ring. Yes, he lost all that weight, but he still ain't very athletic. I don't know how athletic Lil Yachty is. I've never seen him play any sports. I've never really seen him have to move in an athletic way. We'll see. I'm interested by it because it's a story to give us a match. Baron Corbin did mention that he's getting rid of that fur. What would be cool is if Yachty doesn't last 5 minutes and he's laying, staring up at the lights, and Corbin's over him with the title staring at Trick. And Corbin gets a microphone. He's like, hey, I told you I was going to change the look of the title. And he just busts open Yachty and just smears his blood with the white fur. Like that would be cool.
Yeah, that would up the stakes. Trick would be looking for a shot at the title regardless after that. Yeah, this will. I think it'll be fun, and I think that's the whole premise of it. Just for people hating on Yachty, look at some of the other like celeb matches, like Pat McAfee. His stuff with the Randy Orton Cody thing was a little bit, but when he went against Gunther, that was awesome. And he showed out. Bad Bunny showed out.
Yeah, I mean, Pat McAfee, every one of his matches have been good. Bad Bunny, every one of his matches have been good.
So, yeah, and like you alluded to, like Jelly Roll's got a limited ceiling, and that's fine too. Let's see what Yachty's floor and ceiling is, and it should be entertaining regardless. I don't understand it that there's.
I'm just wondering is this a means to an end? Like, how much longer is this feud going to go on? Because I told you when Baron Corbin came back, I thought that this meant Trick was ascending into the main card. And that still might be the case with Money in the Bank coming in October. Because I would think you'd want Trick Williams in the Money in the Bank match. Not saying that I think he's going to win, but I would think that would be a person to put in that match because he should be a person seen as, oh shit, if he gets this briefcase, I could totally see him cashing in.
Do you remember specifically, was Trick in the Elimination Chamber match earlier this year? Okay. So he's been in the chamber. He should be, hopefully, will be in Money in the Bank. Yeah, it's yeah. I get it. We got to get through this thing with Baron Corbin, and then get him moving. Trending upward from there. Yeah, just put a pin in it, and we'll see. We'll see how that plays out.
So we are getting a conclusion to the tournament.
Oof.
And when we looked at the bracket, I'm not saying that I predicted it. Everybody predicted it. They were on opposite ends of the bracket for a reason. Got the Lucha Bros going against each other. Rey Fenix and his brother Penta going against each other to see who is going to face Roman Reigns at September 14th, Monday Night Raw in Mexico City. Rey Fenix has definitely been the best performer throughout this tournament, bar none. Like his matches have been phenomenal, and he's been a workhorse too. He was on after Monday night. He was on NXT having a match, a fucking banger of a match. Like he's been having bangers on AAA. Everywhere Rey Fenix goes, he's getting this shine, and I'm really looking forward to this match. I think Penta's going to ultimately end up winning, but I wouldn't be surprised if Rey Fenix owns the majority of this match, and Penta somehow does his Mexican destroyer and ends up getting the win. The match between Phoenix and Dragon Lee on Monday night was incredible. The dive over the second rope, under the top rope by Dragon Lee was insane.
Stupid. Yeah.
I don't know if there's anybody else on the roster that could do that. I don't think Javon could necessarily do that because I think he's too tall, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I saw footage from a fan that was behind commentary, and the referee. This is cool. It's like behind the scenes type stuff, even though it's not really behind the scenes. So the referee is telling Rey Fenix to get back in the ring because he's outside and he's on the table, and Dragon Lee's still in the ring, and the referee dips his head under the top rope, and right as he does that, you can see behind him that Dragon Lee is going off the ropes, and the ref pushes the second rope down and lifts his shoulders up to raise the top rope. So there's a nice pathway for Dragon Lee to get through unencumbered and just rock Rey Fenix. I thought it's just really cool. Like, it doesn't make it less impressive. I just think it's cool that the refs are in there for so many different reasons. They are a referee, but they're in there for so much more.
That's the second week in a row a ref's got shine from HAG. Papa 3. I like it. How about that Penta La Parka match?
It wasn't very good. That was probably the worst match of all of the tournament matches. And I like La Parka. I've liked all three La Parkas.
Yeah, that one. That was at bedtime for my girls, and I allowed myself to be pulled away from it. But the vast majority of the matches in this tournament have just been hot fire. And Rey Fenix and Dragon Lee.
All of them been good except for Penta La Parka.
Yeah. Like the heir apparent, almost, to Rey Mysterio, but.
So I hope I hope this isn't the way that the Big Cass and Javon Evans thing ended, because it wasn't a squash, but Big Cass whooped Javon's ass. I really liked Big Cass's entrance, where the camera shot started at his feet as he was coming out. And even his theme song, I felt like it gave real Diesel vibes, Kevin Nash when he was Diesel in WWE.
Yep.
And then it panned out from Cass to just show how large he was. I know he wrestled in Tim's and jeans before this, but when I see it, it just makes me think that he's going to need cornstarch or Gold Bond after a match every single time, because his just taint is going to be so raw after wrestling in jeans.
Yeah, you need to get with Favreau on that, Cass. He'll get you hooked up. But you're right. God needs... God. It's not a one-off. He's been doing it ever since he came back, guys. He's got some special Under Armour shorts underneath there that are doing some serious work.
I don't expect that this is the end of a Javon Big Cass feud, just because you don't want Javon going out like a bitch. And it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case because what we've seen from Javon is this like, I don't give a shit how big you are or how more experienced you are. I'm coming back. Is he going to move on with the feud with Judgment Day? I don't know. I don't know. Or maybe we reconvene to Big Cass later on and he does his own thing. Maybe Big Cass and Chad Gable start having a feud. And then Javon gets his lick back by maybe winning an IC title from Big Cass if he goes after Chad Gable.
Yeah, I don't see the feud being done with because Javon needs to come out on top from this, or at least I think we're of the consensus that he does. I'd really like to see Javon Evans in the Money in the Bank match. I don't know if Cass gets in that match legitimately. That could be a way to continue it is if Cass, they have interactions leading up to, and then Cass comes down and costs him, and Javon winds up being the one that takes one of the big bumps or something. I don't know. But he needs to finish atop the mountain from this feud for it to make sense to me, at least from where we're at now. Oof.
So the contract signing between Oba and Braun, I thought Braun, first of all, both of them delivered really good promos. Oba's
Agreed.
just better at this than even the more seasoned vets. He's better at this. But I liked what Braun had to say in explaining why he thinks he should be in the position that Oba Femi is. And Braun was like, but it's my fault because I got hurt. And Oba retorts basically with the right place, wrong time for Braun. I think if you had debuted in 2002 and ran against John Cena, you would have been the face and future of this place. I also think if you debuted in 2015 and ran against the big dog, you would have been the future. But Bronny boy, it's 2026 and you have the misfortune of running against me. You can't understand that because I exist. Your chances of becoming the face of this company have drastically gone down. You're outclassed. Like,
I love how real that is. And you're absolutely right. That was some of the best mic work that Braun Breaker's ever done. And it was, it's part of that stuff that feels organically real, like in and out of kayfabe real. And they may be twisting it a little bit, but a lot of it is true. And Oba just continued, went right down the road with him on that and hit him with more of the same. And it was the back and forth was fantastic.
yeah. And then Theory got involved and he got punished for his transgressions. I was hoping that we wouldn't get the Vision involved, but maybe a returning Bronson Reed gets involved. I don't know. I just think that would be a disservice to Braun Breaker. What I'm kind of hoping for is that maybe Bronson Reed returns and he takes over tag duties with Theory since Logan Paul's still hurt. That way we don't see this tag title on Braun anymore. And then Braun just straight up tells both of them, like, don't get involved in this match. I have to do this. He keeps insinuating that him and Paul aren't in cahoots. He keeps insinuating that Paul Heyman is with Oba Femi. But who introduced Braun Breaker to the crowd before that contract signing? Paul Heyman did.
No, I think that Paul Heyman is the readily available, easy to access gasoline to pour on this fire, on this feud. And my thoughts are is that this is going to keep Oba and the Vision busy, especially Oba, until the Royal Rumble. I think Oba's going to win the Royal Rumble. We'll get Obafemi main eventing
I
WrestleMania.
don't think Oba wins the Royal Rumble. I don't think he wins Elimination Chamber. I do think he main events WrestleMania though.
Somehow,
Well, they keep introducing him when he comes out as a certain something that would have given him a title shot, right?
right?
Which is what
Oh, in his back pocket there. I see where you went with it.
still says King of the Ring, so he still got that. They still introduce him, and it still says King of the Ring on the video board behind him when he comes out. So
Okay.
I think he's doing all these side missions until he says, "You know what? I'm going against Roman or
Yep.
whoever." So,
Yep. So same outcome is this is to keep Oba busy until it's time to go after Roman Reigns. I like your take on Bronson Reed possibly coming out and getting involved, and I can understand why you don't like it in the sense of it being a disservice to Braun Breaker, but these guys have got a lot of time. I don't think it'd be like the biggest, shittiest disservice. I mean, he's the heel, Oba's the face. Let him do heel shit. I realize you want to establish dominance and you want to be the next big thing and whatnot, but if they're heels, they can get away with doing heel shit, at least for now.
I don't like it at all.
I'm with you.
You can be a heel and not be cheap.
That's true.
I wouldn't mind if Braun Breaker kicked him in the balls during the match. Like
Right.
that's the heel stuff that I'm okay with,
Okay.
or thumbing him in the eye. But to get another person involved on your behest, on your behalf, it's just when this whole match is built around who is the future of this company. Well, then I don't dig it.
I'm with you. I mean, but Roman Reigns got away with it for a long time.
Who got involved on his behalf and behest as the big dog?
When he was the tribal chief.
That's not the same, dude. That's not the same at all. Explain yourself.
No, I'm just saying. Roman Reigns was the biggest dude in the company, and instead of going out and quote unquote being the biggest dude, people were getting involved in his matches all the time.
That is the biggest false equivalency ever. First of all, Braun Breaker's been wrestling for like 4 fucking years. Obafemi's been wrestling for like 2.5 years. Roman Reigns had already been wrestling for almost a decade at that point. That's fucking, fuck off. I hate that. Oh my God.
I think we're into kayfabe, but
no. Well, if you're really leaning into kayfabe, you'd be like, well, he could never get over with the fans as a certain entity. And every time he tried to do something, the past of Seth Rollins and the Shield would bubble up and, dick him over. So what does he do? He enlists his family to fucking ensure that him and his family are set for the future. Like that is apples and oranges, man. Come on. You're not going to fight? You're not going to fight for your opinion?
No, it's just my opinion. Everybody's got them. If you don't like it, you don't like it.
Are you serious about it?
No, I think Bronson Reed could definitely get involved, and I don't think it would be like uber detrimental to Braun Breaker's character.
Now, what I wouldn't mind during the match is a returning Bronson Reed takes out Oba, but then also takes out Braun Breaker. Wouldn't mind that at all, because then he could be like, we're busy talking about the future of this business. Yeah, Braun's my boy, but he's no more the future than I am. And this Oba Femi, I don't even know who the fuck you are.
And then he walks out with Paul Heyman.
Then he walks out with Paul Heyman. Yeah. I wouldn't mind that. That would be cool.
Well, I was getting to that take.
You're such a liar. Shut your hole.
Keep it moving.
Questions for the homies.
Oh,
so how is LA Knight going to get a title shot with Roman Reigns, especially with how Monday Night Raw ended? I mean, it began with a bro fest between LA Knight, Solo Dolo, Mr. Pew Pew himself. I love their chemistry and
Going
their interactions with one another.
going full Matrix.
Yeah, going full Matrix when Jay shot the warning shot at him. The new capos, as I like to call them, because they're captains wielding their new power over Fatu.
Right.
Um, they ended up having a tag match at the end of the night, and I was not expecting Royce Keys to come back, and I definitely wasn't expecting Royce Keys to come back with backup, and I definitely wasn't expecting Royce Keys and his backup to attack LA Knight and Solo as well. But during the attack, Royce Keys could be heard saying, "Solo, you didn't help me," because Solo and LA Knight did not help Royce Keys when Jacob Fatu took him out. So I thought it made a lot of sense. The two guys that came are OTM out the mud. They're from NXT.
Mhm.
But basically, Royce said anyone and everyone in the ether of the bloodline are getting split. And I dig it. I dig it. I see a lot of fans are nitpicking because Royce Keys left AEW because he was stuck in a trio with him, Samoa Joe, and another person I can't remember off the top of my head. And I get it. But the thing is that Royce Keys wasn't going to be the face of that trio when Samoa Joe's in it. But he's
Right.
definitely the face of this trio. And he is the
Hmm.
leader of this, gang of men. Uh, I don't know what is going to happen, but it is calamity. It is chaos. Roman's going to be back on Monday, or I don't know. I think he's back this Monday. I'm not quite sure, but and I still don't. I mean, the rumor is that we're getting LA Knight versus Roman at Money in the Bank, but I really don't know how we're getting there.
Yeah, neither do I. And I really enjoyed the Royce Keys of it all with his new faction. And to me, it my mind immediately went to I don't have the sell for it yet, but I started thinking Survivor Series, like
What, the
with all
three
the
way?
factions. Yeah, yeah. I don't know, but it just seemed like you got all these groups of people and just Survivor Series, all these groups of people. So
But you would still need a third for maybe it's Zilla, a third for Solo and LA Knight and Zilla.
hmm.
That'd be pretty quick because I think Zilla just had his first match on NXT this past Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean, maybe no, I don't know. I don't know how to make it make sense. It was literally a knee jerk, like my mind just went to, and I didn't really twist the Rubik's cube enough to get the colors lined up to make it make sense. But I
Well,
just thought series.
anytime that you see a collection of people starting to band together in late summer, that that
Right.
that makes sense that your mind should be cued into, is this leading to war games? So
Yeah, I
I
mean, I
think
could see the. I mean, you've got the motherfucking Tongas over there. Um,
they don't fuck with Solo.
Not anymore, but I mean, we'll see. It was good. It was fresh. It was fun. Nobody saw it coming.
No, not at all. Uh, yeah, I liked it. All right, some quick nuances for the homies. Roxanne Perez, I just wanted to bring up on how people should be patient with Roxanne Perez because commentary was heavily talking about the Nuggets for Roxanne Perez during her match with Stephanie Bakir. That Roxy doesn't believe she's been afforded the same opportunities that her Judgment Day teammates have had. Liv is the world champion and Raquel is the IC champion. She is known as the prodigy, and it's been shared online that Roxanne Perez is, I think, 2-21 in her last 23 matches. That's not great, but I
Right.
think they keep saying this every week when Roxanne is actively involved on screen. They keep talking about what Roxanne was during NXT, what Roxanne has said about what she wants for her future. Like the nuggets are there. I don't know if it's she dicks over Stephanie Vicker when she goes against Liv Morgan. I don't know if it's a money in the bank and she quickly cashes in. What I think would be cool, honestly, is that if she did win money in the bank, she cashes in on Stephanie, who's the champion, or Becky, who's the champion. Liv isn't the champion. Let's say the women's money in the bank match kicks off the show and she wins it, and we see a little conversation between Liv and Roxy, and she does the thing like, hey, yeah, you can go after Chelsea Green or whoever the champion is on SmackDown. And Roxy's like, yeah, I'll be there on Friday night. But then maybe there's a title match later that night between Vicker and Becky Lynch. And she runs out there and cashes it in. And you see Liv at the ramp being like, what the fuck, man? Like,
Right.
so,
Yeah, no, I like it. Money in the bank for her the shoe would fit, and I think staying away from, at least with your takes like the Tiffany Stratton, Nia Jackson would all running it back a little bit differently would be smart. Because the minute if Roxanne was to win Money in the Bank, I would think the consensus is oh, they're running back Tiffany, Nia Jax, and to pivot from that and have it be a little different would probably be refreshing and fun. But her comeuppance are coming.
yeah, it would be, she never attacked Liv. Liv can feel a certain type of way, but can she really be mad at Roxanne? No,
Right.
not really. Because what is Judgment Day? Just as long as Judgment Day has gold, that's all that matters, right?
Yeah, your little prodigy is doing what you taught her. I agree.
All right. So Punk was heavily booed in Toronto. Heavily booed in Toronto. I liked that a lot after our conversation that we had last week about CM Punk. I am starting to, you know me, I'm not tribalistic when it comes to my favorites in the business. I'm not tribalistic when it comes to people that I don't really enjoy, but I'm starting to like treat CM Punk as a true heel. I love watching his matches. I think this run that he's had since he's been back in WWE is beginning to eclipse his first real run in WWE, you know, or at least his title runs in WWE prior than 12 years ago. I'm going to treat him like a heel from now on. I'm not going to actively like shit on him in social media or on this podcast, but for all intents and purposes, I see CM Punk as a heel now. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fair. A cheerable heel at times.
Yeah, if he's goes on a rant on a promo, I might dig it and be like, yeah, that was fucking great. But to me, he is a heel right now.
Right.
And yeah. During the match, I thought the match was great. The match started, I think, at 31 minutes past the hour on SmackDown. And we got almost a 30-minute match. And the first like 25 minutes was just straight up wrestling. It was straight up wrestling.
You texted me that, and we're like, we're 29 minutes left, start of the match, and I was literally on a commercial, like finishing washing dishes, and I saw my phone, I looked at it, and I was just like, okay, I'm going to stop doing this, and then I fast forwarded through the, all the commercials, and then watched, and then fast forward through the next set of commercials, and I got to real time as quick as I could because I was like, oh, fuck, we're getting a half hour for these guys.
Yeah, everything that KO did in the ring, just there was so much like vitriol and anger and just angst, just directly focused on CM Punk. Well, I thought what was really funny. So CM Punk, when he came out with this like Jason like hockey goalie, and it was on the steel steps. And during the match, KO, he had CM Punk on the mat. And KO was about to go to the top rope, and he saw that mask sitting on the steel steps, and he kicked it. And when he kicked it, it hit Stu, the cameraman.
Right.
And he goes, "You all right, Stu?" Like he didn't mean to kick it, hit him with the thing. But man, the match was a banger. And then we got the schmarminess after. And you and I were texting during it. You were like, I wonder if Sammy gets involved. And by the time Sammy got involved, I was okay with it because we had gotten 25 minutes of a great
Right.
match. And then the schmarminess started where Sammy came out and he pushed CM Punk into the ring post. He tried to hand KO the title. KO did take the title, but he said, no, I don't want that. But prior to Sammy coming out, the ref got bumped out of the ring and KO hit a stunner. Should have won then. But then CM Punk hit GTS, should have won then. But KO didn't want to use that title belt. And it looked like that really pissed Sammy off. And or I don't know. I mean, I'm are we really getting Sammy KO 75? I don't know. Like,
Oh, I absolutely think we are. I don't know when, but we are.
I hope we're not. I still hope we're not. I hope that they combat each other, but the title is involved. So if it's a triple threat or a fatal four way or something like that, like I wouldn't mind that.
Mm-hmm. But just Sammy KO one-on-one. We've had enough.
I've had enough of it. I mean,
My
but I
cup
will
runneth
watch it.
over.
Maybe they can change. I'll go into it with an open mind, but as of right now, I'm like, I've kind of seen it, you know?
Right.
Um, and Sammy wasn't doing it to help Punk because after Punk ended up winning the match, Sammy blasted him with the title. Sammy is technically in the right. He has not gotten his rematch. And he was supposed to, last week, he was supposed to have a match with Cody, and the winner of that would be number one contender. And Randy Orton came out and attacked Cody before the match started. So Sammy is getting dicked over. I wouldn't say that Sammy got dicked over with him losing the title to CM Punk. No, I don't think he got dicked over at all. You should always be prepared to defend the title.
Right.
But the aftermath, yeah, Sammy has, because he was supposed to have this match against
I wonder.
and all of a sudden it turned into a fatal four way.
Yeah, it's all being set up to facilitate the heel turn, which you got in here. You believe to be complete, and I agree with you. It makes me wonder. Back to KO Sammy 75, like you said. Have they had a match where Sammy was heel?
Yeah, when he was in the bloodline.
And that might just be food for thought. That could be one of the little nuances.
I don't see Sammy KO 75. They could easily change my mind because both of them are so compelling in the ring and on the microphone and as storytellers in general. So, yeah, I'm not going to completely poo-poo what seems to be the trajectory that they're going with.
For sure. It seems like that's the direction they're going. Remember, there's what is Drew McIntyre's floating around out there. I don't know what that if he would be interjected anywhere around this already crowded title scene. But we'll see. Just be patient, like we tell the homies, and you'll get your answers.
I mean, the seamless. Would Sammy and Drew be cool with each other? Because Sammy and Drew they've always not liked each other, really. Now they're kind of spitting the same grievances.
And then you think about Survivor Series and group of guys, so we'll see.
Well, we normally don't have two men's War Games matches, but we'll see. All right. So that is it for the wrestling stuff, for the nuance for the homies. So let's talk about some things to like and not to like about Florida State football. Gotta say, this is probably the least invested and most nervous I've ever been with a Florida State team.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of uncertainties. There's projections and predictions galore right now because it's that time of year, and none of their off-season moves were tidal wave, big splash moves, but we're going to have to see. We're going to have to sift through it a little bit. Tell me, we can spend all day talking about the things that we dislike. Let's spend the majority of the time talking about the things that we do like, and then we'll just hit the shit that sucks.
Well, the majority is going to be on the dislike just because there's more to dislike about this team for this season. So if you want to do it that way, fine. What I like is that we have a beefier QB. We got someone who's a little more thick, bigger build in Daniels. I do like the a beefier QB because yeah, we had DJ Uiagalelei, but he wasn't very good. It seems like Daniels is a little bit more fleet of foot. He's going to be able to take the contact, but also run away from it. You know, with Tommy Castellanos and Jordan Travis, anytime they got hit, it was like, oh shit, like, are they going to be able to get back up? So I like that we have someone who I feel a little bit more comfortable with that is going to be able to take punishment, maybe deal out a little bit of punishment, and then also be able to throw those middle routes that you and I have talked about. And then it looks like there's a pretty healthy competition for the second string quarterback between Sperry and Malachi Marshall.
Marshall. Yep.
And so I like that as well. I don't know what fruits it will produce, but maybe we get to see all three of them play in their first game against New Mexico State. Who knows?
And I'll hit with my first like, and it's at the skill positions. What? Deuce Robinson, Makai Danzy, Jabin Boggs, all returning, ready to show out. Usman Chroma coming back in the backfield, and they got that Texas running back, Quintravian Wisner, who was 1,000-yard rusher. I think they will have a formidable backfield and just, good talent at the skill position.
I have skill position on there as well. What I've been hearing from their camp is that freshman Jason Lopez has been showing out big time. So that's something that's been missing from the Florida State for a while, is just a freshman that comes in and just, takes over fandom. Because, last year Miami had that with Malachi Tony. Freshman came in and just, oh shit, who's this guy? And he was immediately one of the best in the country. It's been a while since Florida State's had that, I'm trying to think, just like any skill position, the last time that a true freshman came in and just lit up the Seminole world. And I can't.
Tamarick Vanover.
That's like that's in the mid 90s, early 90s. Like
Peter Warwick. I don't know.
No, Peter Warwick didn't even do that in his freshman year. He didn't play in his, he's played sparingly in his freshman year. There hasn't been one. It maybe Warwick done.
Yeah.
Because he played in his freshman year. Not a lot. Shit. Dalvin Cook, did he play in his freshman year?
I don't think so. Neither did Minor.
Yeah, so that's something that's been missing from Florida State, is just being able, but it all ties back to like recruiting, and they haven't done great with that. But we're talking about the good stuff now. So, but I had the skill positions as well. They're loaded at running back. They're really loaded at running back. Chroma, Singleton, Sands,
Wisner, Quintravian Wisner from Texas, 1,000-yard rusher.
It's pronounced Wisner, but whatever. I don't know if it is or not. And then they got, Landon Thomas transfer. We'll see. We'll see. They have depth there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The defensive toughness. I think the Desir twins returned. Great. They got a transfer from Southern Miss in the linebacker. I'm hearing some really good things about Rawls. And back, it's another year of Tony White in this 3-3-5 defense. Granted, it's hard to It's hard to develop a rapport or a consistency when you're in the NIL era because of players coming and going.
Hmm.
But it's still a learning experience for the DC. I like what I'm hearing out of camp about the give a fuck, the give a shit attitude that they've got.
Agreed. Uh, Next for me, I like that Mike Norvell is back to calling plays. So, mainly because if the wheels are to come off, it's I think this is where he needs to be. He needs to have his toes to the fire, to be as involved as possible, and I think his offensive scheme is kind of based off the Gus Malzahn stuff, but with nuances, especially in the pass game to it. Would I be correct in saying that?
Yep.
Okay. So I just like it for accountability purposes, and so you get a little bit more than what we got from the quote unquote dated Malzahn offense last year, and hopefully he's finding a way to like coax the very best out of Ashton Daniels with that when it comes to being versatile. We know the kid can run. Can he pass? And I think we're going to find that out. And that's what we want to see, because they're not going to get however many wins they're going to get with this kid just being a running threat. So I think that's good for Ashton Daniels and good for Mike Norvell. I'll double tap my dislikes because they're kind of the same, or they tie into each other. The trenches on both sides of the ball, mainly that offensive line, are very, very new in the sense that they haven't played any games together, um, and they don't have a lot of depth. They don't have a lot of experience and a ton of depth, or at least it looks like that on paper. It's all just projections and predictions until they actually get out there and you see what they put out on the field. But I worry about the continuity and the green on both sides of the ball. Well, and you've got the Desir twins. I'm mainly really, really leaning probably like 80-20 toward the offensive line. We've got this stacked running back room, and you've got Deuce Robinson, all ACC projection, potentially all American if they can squeeze that out of him. Are these guys going to be able to pass block and run block at an efficient enough clip so that Florida State can make some things happen?
All right. I don't know if this should be a dislike or not, but the program transparency, because it seems like Norvell's been really standoffish and close-lipped about a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He's got what? He's got a $50 million buyout. The guy wants to win.
Like you said, when you came to him calling plays, like maybe he's taking it all on in order to be like, either this is going to work because of the way that I do it or it doesn't.
Right, which is one of my likes. That's the right spot for him to be in, because if the wheels totally come off, then he can be potentially held accountable for that. And I think they got to come off hard for them to fire him, because his buyout is not as big as it was last year, but it's still $50 million. I mean, it's I, I, if they finish 6-6 or 7-5, I don't think he's going anywhere. I think that they got to come off like sub 500.
If they don't win, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. This is why. This is what makes it hard. There's the biggest dislike of all. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. I'm hoping the first game is a win, but at this point, I'm not sure if any game's a win, honestly.
Right. Um, so I've looked at the lines for all these games, and there's what, three games? What is it? New Mexico State, Central Arkansas, and Boston College, where FSU is heavily favored, and they were not favored as much as I think they should have been against Boston College. And riddle me this: why do you think that is?
Because they don't play well in Boston College. They got to go to Chestnut Hill.
Oh, because they're on the road and they haven't won a road game in 2 fucking years. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Um, so they're favored by more than one touchdown against those three teams. So give them,
They're favored by 31 and a half against New Mexico State.
that's, by more than a touchdown. They're literally, there's what, 7 games that are basically swing games. Alabama and Miami are the line has them losing and potentially losing big. They've got the 3 wins and 2 losses between those, and then there's 7 swing games to include big ones like Florida, SMU, Clemson, Louisville, and they are not favored in these games, but they're not projected to just get fucking smoked. 5 of these 7 games are at home. They do catch Louisville on the road, but they literally get Florida, Clemson, and SMU at home. So if they get the 3 wins they're supposed to via the projections, they take the 2 losses they're supposed to. If they can win,
Let's just go through it. Let's do it right now. New Mexico State, Florida State. Win or loss? Go.
win.
Okay, that's a win for me too. All right, write these down. Write A and W, and you put the record down as we go. A
All
for
right.
Adam, Wayne, W for Mike.
Yeah. Yeah, hell yeah. I smell what the Rock's cooking.
SMU versus Florida State at Tallahassee. It's a Monday night game too.
Mm-hmm.
SMU right now is favored by 2.5 points.
Yep. I'm going to take Florida State.
I got SMU.
Okay.
Don't be a homer, Wayne.
Well, of course I'm going to be, but I'm not trying not to be ignorant.
Florida State, Alabama at Tuscaloosa. Starting a true freshman, I believe, Alabama, in Keelan Russell. Alabama, will they be able to run the ball? Because they couldn't run the ball for shit last year. Their defense is going to be Alabama's defense is going to be really, really good, and it's in Tuscaloosa. And as of right now, it's a Saturday afternoon game. Obviously, I have Alabama, so I got 1 and 2 Florida State so far.
Yep, I have Florida State taking their first loss of the season in Alabama.
All right, next at home against Central Arkansas, I got Florida State.
Okay, I do too.
Virginia at Florida State. This game went into overtime last year with Virginia winning in Charlottesville.
Mm-hmm.
I will take Florida State here.
I will as well. I think Florida State got more. How do I say this? I'm just going to say it incorrectly. Florida State got more better than Virginia did, and we're playing at home.
So I'm pretty sure that I have 1, 2. I have Florida State at 3 and 2 right now.
Yep.
All right, Florida State at Louisville. I think Louisville is a sneaky team that could potentially sneak into the playoff this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take Louisville. It's in Louisville. It's a Friday night game in Louisville.
Yeah.
I think Louisville's going to win here.
Yeah, this was the one for me that I was like, man, if they could win that game, that would just right before you hit that fucking Miami Clemson double punch, like, man, that would be big. I want to take Florida State, but in the interest of not being a homer, I don't like That's is that Friday, October the 13th?
Friday, October 9th.
Okay, Jesus. All right. I'm gonna uh I'm gonna take Louisville. I don't want to. I really want the Knowles to win that game.
And then they get 8 days until they play in Coral Gables against Miami, Florida State, Miami. Miami is looking like a pretty heavy favorite to not only win the ACC but be a repeat in the national championship game. Miami has a bye week leading up to this game against Florida State, so they got 2 weeks to prep for Florida State. Miami's going to win. Miami's probably going to absolutely destroy them. I'm going to say like 55-12.
Yeah, Miami went out and got the Duke quarterback and his number one receiver and a bunch of other transfer portal studs. They're primed and ready. I think Florida State, the fan base, as long as they're not 0-6 by the time we get to this game, will probably do a decent job showing out down there. But ultimately, I think Miami takes that.
All right, then they get a bye week to prep for 2 weeks to go against Clemson. I will take Florida State here. I think this is going to be Dabo Sweeney's last year. Uh, it's not been going well in South Carolina and Clemson, South Carolina for Dabo Sweeney. I mean, you and I both picked Clemson to get to the national championship last year, and we're just some fucking goofballs that do this podcast. But there were like actual college football analysts and former players that were picking Clemson to get to the national championship. I think we are. I think what we're seeing now with Dabo Sweeney is kind of what we saw with Bobby Bowden, you know, on his last few years there before Jimbo Fisher came. And similar to who else? I'm trying to think of another coach that dominated for a long time. I mean, maybe like Barry Switzer with Oklahoma or Frank Solich with Nebraska coming in after Tom Osborne. So I think I'm going to take Florida State here at home to beat Clemson.
Mm-hmm. Myself as well.
All right, then they go on the road to Boston College. I'm going to give Florida State a win here. I think they're going to be pissed off. I think that they're going to come in off of a high against Clemson and smack Boston College in the mouth.
Yep. Well, we picked in unison. We picked Alabama, Miami, Louisville, all on the road. We all chalked those up for L's. Florida State getting their first road win in 2.5 years, or just over 2 years. Boston College. I'm taking the W as well.
Florida State Pitt. Pitt took it to us last year. They had started their freshman quarterback. This one is very nerve wracking because it's in Pitt. It's back to back road games. I'm wondering if, and it's a short week too because it's a Friday night game in Pitt.
Right.
I think with the Clemson wins, beating Clemson, going on the road to beat Boston College, give me Florida State to keep it going and beat Pitt.
This is the one, November 13th, Friday night, Friday the 13th, in Pitt, on the road. You beat Clemson, you beat Boston College. This is another one of those big swing games that are, the line is close.
Well, the line is close now. We don't know what it's going to be.
Yeah. Well, we're picking now. I've either got Florida State 7-5 or 8-4, and because I'm a homer, I'm going to take Florida State over Pitt.
All right. Their last two games of the season are home games against NC State on the 21st of November and then against Florida on the 27th of November. Florida State game is a Friday night game. Both of these are losses for me. They're going to lose to NC State. NC State's probably going to be a top 15 team at this point, and I think Florida is probably going to be a top 25 team at this point. So yeah, NC State and Florida both beat Florida State to end the season.
Yeah, I had the same. The line is closer for NC State than it is for Florida, but it's homecoming with NC State. Um, they always give us fucking problems. I don't. And Mike Norvell has never beaten NC State.
I think NC State's going to be pretty good this year.
Yeah, Norvell has never
I
beaten
like
NC
CJ
State.
Bailey.
Yeah, that's yeah. Give me loss. Um, so Adam has the Knowles finishing out at 6-6. I've got them at 7-5.
Which both would be improvements from what they were last year. I don't know if it's enough to have to for Norvell to keep his job. It all depends on how the losses look. If the losses are close and they look competitive while doing it, then he's probably going to be around again because of that humongous buyout, that $50 million buyout. If it's piss poor, let me throw a hypothetical at you. Let's say they beat New Mexico State, no matter what, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And Central Arkansas. If they lose to SMU, Alabama, tell me when you think Florida State would fire Mike Norvell. Okay?
Okay.
So they win against New Mexico State,
Mm-hmm.
lose to SMU. Is he fired?
What's the score?
I'm not giving you nuance here. Just fucking go
Okay.
along with the game. They lose
No,
to
he's not.
SMU.
No,
They lose to Alabama.
no.
They beat Central Arkansas. Lose to
Yep.
Virginia.
Uh, mm, uh, he could. He could, depending on what those losses look like, because you're about to go back to back road, Louisville, Miami.
So they're 2-3 with Virginia if they lose.
Yep.
And then they lose to Louisville, 2-4.
Yeah, not yet.
Lose to Miami, 2-5. And now they got
They
2
were.
weeks until the next game.
That's the one.
So if they lose to Miami and they're 2-5, you think that Norvell could be fired at that point?
Yeah. Again, it depends on how they look, but that's a sweet spot. Um, you got Clemson coming in. You could try and salvage something. Start building on your recruiting class. You've got what Boston College, Pitt, North Carolina. I mean,
Start
it's not.
building on your recruiting class. They don't have a coach.
Yeah, they
Else
would
who's
have to.
going to be there?
Yeah, I mean, you would have to. Maybe I left the coach part out. Sorry about that. I got ahead of myself. Yeah, that Miami game, even though it may be a foregone conclusion at that point.
If they lose to all the Power 4 schools once they get to their bye week, I think he's done.
Yeah, and I think the SMU, Virginia, Louisville games, you got to win. Like Miami and Alabama, okay, we get it. But SMU, Louisville, Virginia, like if you're 3-3 coming out of Miami, I think he's still got a job. 1-2-3, 1-2-3, or even if you're 3-4, excuse me.
But if he loses to New Mexico State or Central Arkansas,
Yeah,
and he loses to like Virginia and SMU, I mean, he's done. He's done.
oh yeah,
But who knows? We'll see. I mean, I hope not. I mean, the most optimistic part of me wants to say that they're going to win every single game, you know? But
yeah.
I'm, so.
I'm excited for it to be back. Regardless, I hope it's more fun than it has been. Even though it's still been fun, it's just been tough.
I mean, it's in 2 days, baby.
I know, right? Let's fucking go.
All right.
Oh.
All right. Make sure you follow me at AJG Pop of 3 on all social media platforms. Like, subscribe, comment on YouTube and Spotify, Wrestle Buddy Veterans. Waynehausen, give me another agree.
And then kick me in the John Wiener. Y'all take it easy, homies. And No Nation, let's get it. And they kick me in the John Wiener.